All right. So Linux commands. So one of the commands that we've been looking at, we've already used it, is what we call a PWD. That is print working directory. So this command, it's very useful because it will always tell the system user, or it will always tell you where you are relative to the file system. Okay. So it will print the path of your current working directory, starting from the root. As we looked at the Linux file system, we see that the Linux file system, it has been designed that everything starts from the root. So right now, if I type a command pwd, right, it is going to return this, that I'm in the home of Ubuntu, but it is starting from the root, right? So whenever you are lost on the file system, or wherever you are in the file system, and you would like to know where you are, this is the command that you'll be using. So for example, we'll look at a cd command. I can cd and go to let's say root, right? I can cd there. Now, we will see that right now I'm sitting at root. If I do pwd, where am I? Now, right here, I'm at root. It means that I'm at the top of the file system, okay? Because the file system starts at root. So if I would like to know where I am, then I will run pwd. It will print your working directory. Working directory just means the present directory that you are. So if I'm right at root and I list, we will see this command. I run ls to list this command. I will see that I have multiple directories or a couple of directories. So let's say I go to cd, which is another command that we'll look at. Right now, I have multiple directories or a couple of directories listed right here. So if I cd and I say I want to cd to home, okay, I want to cd to home. So once I cd to home, now right here, you see that I'm sitting it at home. So if I do pwd, it is going to print and tell me that the directory that I am at, it is this home directory, okay? Now, if I run an ls command, I will see that I have a directory, right? So in Linux, we call them directories. In Windows, we call them folders. So I have a folder, or because we're using Linux, I have a directory called Ubuntu. So I can cd into the Ubuntu directory right there, okay? So once I cd and I ls, I cd and I do pwd right there, it is bringing me back to the home of Ubuntu. So what this actually means is that when we say you are at home, remember this is the tilde sign. This is the tilde. We saw that tilde basically means home, okay? Tilde basically means home. So if I'm logged in as an Ubuntu user, so because I'm Ubuntu user, every system user has a home, right? Has a home, has their working directory, a directory whereby they have permissions to create files, they have permission to create other directories. So this is the home of Ubuntu. So as we saw, if I cd into the root directory, right? And I want to go home, I want to cd to go back home. Home means I'm logged in as Ubuntu. I want to go back to my home directory. So what I can do is that I can cd tilde, okay? Cd tilde. So if I type cd tilde, tilde just means take me back home, okay? Take me back home. So regardless of where I am on the file system, if I cd tilde, it is going to bring me back home. If I do pwd, I'm home, okay? So let's say I do cd, I want to go to a directory called media, a directory called media. that is stemming from the root. So I can do CD media, right? Right now, if I do PWD, I am in a directory called media that stems from the root. Now, I am right here. If I want to go back home, okay, then I can CD tilde, right? I can CD tilde. So that's one way of taking me back home, right? Now, I can also just do CD. If you just do CD, it will bring you back home. If I do CD without any arguments or any options, I'm not giving it any arguments or parameters, it is going to bring me back home. Okay. So PWD, this is the command that you will always use to know where you are on the file system. So if you are lost or you're working on something, you're on a certain directory, but you want to go back to your home directory, then again, just use PWD, which will bring you back home. All right. Now, the next command is ls, a command that we've used here. So ls command, these are Linux command. It lists the list command. It lists the contents of a directory. So right now, let me clear the screen. So right now, PWD, I'm at the home of Ubuntu. I am inside of a directory called Ubuntu. So if I want to know the contents of this particular directory, okay, the contents of this particular directory, then I can run ls, okay? I can run ls. So when I run ls, it is going to show me the contents of the Ubuntu directory, okay? Because right here, I'm sitting in the Ubuntu directory. The list command, it basically lists the contents of a directory. So when you use it without any optional argument, it basically prints out the list of files, just prints out the list of files that are present in the current directory. Okay, so like right now, because I'm in the PWD, I'm in the home of Ubuntu, I can use the list command, ls, and this is just going to list all files and directories that are in this particular home directory. Now, if I cd into root directory, I can cd there. But now if I list right here, I will see that I have different directories. These are directories, right? There could be files, but we have directories here. Now, this list command here, it is just outputting for me a list of all the directories that are in the root directory. Now, I can cd, because I'm in the root directory, I can cd into the etc directory. So while I'm right there, I can cd into etc, right? Etc. Once I cd, I'm in the etc directory right here. So I can ls, I can list. So when I list, it is showing me all the directories and files, right? As you can see, directories are in blue, then in white, all these are files. So it is listing for me all the files that are within the etc directory. So we will use ls command to be able to list. But last time we also looked at the manual. So if you do manual ls, right, we will see that ls command has what we call options. It has options. So if I want to list all files, right, and do not ignore entries starting with a period. So we saw that files that start with a period or a dot, as it says, these files are hidden. The ls command cannot show them. So if I want to show files that are hidden, right, in a directory, then I'll have to use an option. I'll have to use an option for the ls command. So I'm going to use ls and I can run ls-a. So when I run -a as an option, then it is going to list all files, including hidden files, including files that start with a dot or a period. So here we see we have two directories.